this is probably harder than the wrong hand shaving challenge. I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Anyways, let me give you guys some context here. Eric, the Cajun Blade, he did the left hand or wrong hand shaving challenge, and then he issued some challenges back saying hone with your left hand and then shave with your right hand, or basically hone with your non-dominant and then shave with your dominant hand. And so I don't really back out of a challenge, so here we are. I want to take you guys through one of my favorite progressions or edges to have. This is a Bismarck special, vintage Bismarck. I think before Dovo actually bought this. Oh god, here we go. So this is kind of a refresh because that already has an edge. I don't really need to go back down to bevel set, but here we are. I have my trusty caudicle, and I only want to have just a little bit of slurry. So just kind of like that amount. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can. All right, so got it on my left hand, and Eric says he wants to see some half stroke circles, so I'm going to do my old honing routine, which was from Nelson, great guy, Puerto Rican. Oh yeah, this is getting used to it right now, trying to calibrate. Okay, I'm going to change that and go with a little bit less pressure and a little bit more precision. And I'm trying to not move the camera as much because I don't want to have anyone have a headache here. Alright, so we're using a Ligris caudicle. I really love this caudicle. It is one of my favorites. It really does give me amazing edges. And I was thinking about this because I get questions all the time. What caudicle to buy? Should I buy Select? Should I buy the other one that I forgot, Standard? And honestly, you can buy whichever mine. Eric actually brought this point in one of his recent videos, and wow, that's awkward. Trying to get back in frame here. And actually Keith Johnson talked about something similar in, oh, the circles are very hard to do. Oh no. Keith Johnson talked about the same topic. It was surprising because Keith doesn't usually make as much videos, but they were talking about the same thing basically. But Eric mentioned, you know, Escher Thury. He mentions the Escher name, even if he has a Thury, because he likes getting on the skin of Escher guys. And basically what he's trying to say is, you know, it's the same stone, it's just a company. And when I get questions about caudicles, I have the same mentality. You know, these are rocks that are inside of the earth. Escher is more of like a reputation thing, kind of like the caudicle mines. They're just a reputation thing. They don't really confirm or will, you know, you don't have 100% chance that if you buy a Ledrosante or an LPB or a Les Lat that you're going to get the stone that you want. So you have to talk with your sellers because it's basically the same thing. You know, just because you have an Escher does not mean that you're going to get the stone that you want. You know, it has its reputation. They had access to the best stones in the mine, or so they say. And same with the caudicles, you know. There's like a trend or what people say about the stones, but you never know until you try it. So this is why I've always recommended this, is that you need to talk with your sellers. Talk with your sellers. You're giving them your money. So talk with your sellers and ask them, you know, this is what I want from this stone. And who cares if it's a stone from Ligris or a stone from Las Petas. This is what I'm going to ask you guys, and it's like a thought experiment. What would you rather have? A good stone from Ligris or a bad stone from Les Petas, you know? One is more, obviously, a little bit more rare, but, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a good stone, And then you, like, spent all that money, and you got a bad stone, So talk with your sellers, say, hey, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, and they'll hook you up if, that's a good person you want to make business with. All right, I think I'm at a point now with this edge where I kind of want to go back to water now. So yeah, one of my favorite progressions is, a caudicle. And when I'm done with the caudicle, I switch over to a J-knot. And it actually gives me some amazing edges. So they're very comfortable, they're very keen. Actually, I sent an edge to Greg Gallant once. And on one side, when I went to the finishing stages, it had, it was all caudicle. And that video is up in his YouTube channel. You guys can check it out. If he wants, he can link it in the comment section below. But anyways, this is so awkward, dude. I'm switching now to X strokes only because Jesus Christ. But anyways, I sent an edge to Greg Gallant, and on one side, I finished on a caudicle, and on the other side I finished on a J-knot. And I had the 2 stones out, and I would do one side with one edge and the other side. It made like a convexity on one side. He sent me the images. They looked pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. And he actually really enjoyed the edge. He can tell you more about it, but it looked like he had a really good shave, and most of the time I don't do that, having one face of the bevel with one edge and one face of the other bevel, or the other face of the bevel with another edge, but I don't usually do that. What I usually do is I just do my caudicle, and then I go to a J-knot, and then I do that on water. I don't know, the better your shaving technique gets, the more you can kind of go on water only. I feel like, yes, it can get too acute if you do too much work, but technique is always king. Jesus Christ. Okay, that's not good. I need another one of these. Glug glug. All right. I still think we need to do a little bit more work here on the caudicle before we switch to the J-knot. But once we finish on the caudicle, at least this is the way I like it, is then I move to the J-knot, and I don't do too much work on the J-knot. It's just to like keen up the caudicle up a little bit. That's where a lot of guys can go wrong if they do too many passes on water on the J-knot, in my opinion. Jesus Christ. Eric, I hate you. Not really, but my God, this is very not the way I want to hone, because when I want to hone, I want to have fun, and this is not fun. I guess touche, because you felt the same way when you were shaving with your left hand, but all right, I see you. I see what you're doing there, brother. I see you. Planning on using Van Yulay Michael. Beautiful scent, beautiful scent. I hope you guys like the ad. Sorry about the camera shaking. Is I kind of wanted to go a little bit more liberal with my editing. I do know a little bit about editing, and I like to experiment, and I have a lot of projects that I want to share with you guys. Here's the thing. First of all, some people have bad reactions to shaking video, and some guys of you have told me that this POV is a little bit hard for you guys on the eyes. Hopefully I changed some settings, maybe that has changed, but yeah, some of you guys have it's a little bit harder for you guys to see some shaking, or You know, it's just how it goes. Other you guys told me that you did not mind the shaking, but we're all different. The reason why I wanted to make that video like that is because when I think of Michael, the Archangel, you know, I think of someone who commands authority. You know, when he walks into a room, he owns the room, and he has power, and he's dangerous, and not dangerous as in he's going to do something dangerous to you or harm you. Dangerous in the sense that he has the capability of it, but he doesn't do it if you're someone of honor. At least that's the way I think of the Archangel Michael. By the way, Van Yulay, Monica, you did an amazing job on that scent. Next up, I think I'm going to be doing Air Force One from Strike Gold Shave, so be on the lookout for that. It is an amazing scent. But yeah, I want to be a little bit more liberal on my video making. I want to attract younger audiences. I want to get them excited. I want you guys to get excited when you see videos like that, you know. So I'm trying to reach out to a different audience here, a younger audience. I want to reach out to people that like cinematography, you know, because I want them to see how amazing wet shaving is. I want them to see how amazing straight razor shaving is. And, you know, it's kind of like a hard pill to swallow, you know, a necessary evil. I won't do it too much, though. I apologize to all those people that did not like the shaking. Okay, I think we're done here. I'm going to check out the edge, and I'll be back for the JNat. And we are back, and I have this beautiful little stone that I got from Eric. I believe this is a Nakayama. I got this early on from him when I started my wet shaving journey. This is a Copa size. I love my Copas. I love Copas more than I do like the full stones because you don't really need much when you're sharpening a straight razor. But here we go. I have a little bit of slurry there. I'm looking at the undercut through the camera, which is a little bit hard. Oh man. I know I'm going to be able to shave with this. I do shave every day. I feel like I don't, I feel like I get better shaves when I have at least one day between, but we'll see how it goes. I flooded the stone, and I'm going to go on water just a little bit, you know, not much. We're at the end stage of this, you know. You know, I was watching that Keith Johnson video, and he mentions, you know, you can buy stones from Yahoo. You know, you never know what you're going to get, but you might land on a really good one for a cheap price. But, you know, like I said, make relationships with people. I would always, like, I feel you're going to get a better stone if you talk to someone like Keith or Eric, the Cajun Blade. You know, people that do this and are passionate about the hobby, and you ask them, you know, I want this type of stone. You know, they're going to hook you up. So you're always going to have the better chance of getting a better stone with people you trust. And that's why we have a community for this type of stuff. Same thing with, you know, the cauticles. If you want a good stone and you want it for razor honing, talk with Rob at AC and he'll hook you up, you know. I mean, he might say, you know, I have this really good Lagris that outperforms all these other stones that are from quote-unquote better minds, you know. But you never know. You never know. It's all a reputation thing. It's all trying to minimize the risk of buying a bad stone. And this was a great buy because I bought this from Eric. I trusted him. You know, I still trust him. He has never given me a bad stone. So, yeah, make relationships, guys. All right, I think I'm going to strop this on linen and maybe a little bit of leather, and I'll see you guys in the shave. And now for the easy part of the shave, which is shaving with the right hand. If you see my face is a little, you know, it looks kind of sticky, it's because I used a steamer. I don't have a steamer, so what I've been doing is I've been shaving every day. My skin has been a little bit irritated. But what I've been doing is I put a little water on a stovetop, and I just put my face there for 1 or 2 minutes, and it feels like this. So I think it really does help with the shave. All right, I am using Michael from Yulay. You guys saw my latest video with Michael from Yulay, and I'm also going to be using the matching splash. I am using the Goodfellas Smile synthetic brush. I was going to use the boar brush because of Greg Gallant. You know, he's doing the boar Vember, I think it's called. But I forgot, and I took this brush. Okay, so I'm displaying the brush. That's a really nice splay, actually. Oh yeah. Love this scent from Yulay. You know, has some leathery notes, some crisp pine, like an ozone to it. And her base is just amazing. And I am just dropping soap everywhere. Anyways, I jointed the toe of the razor and the heel of the razor. Jointing meaning, you know, there's some serrations there on the razor when you're sharpening, and you pass it through either glass or any type of medium that you want, and you kind of take those serrations out. I did that on the heel and the toe because I don't want to get that to bite into my skin. That's what jointing is by definition. And the reason why I mentioned that is because, let's go. I have this guy on a forum that I go into, you know. He's been very nitpicky about everything that I write. And I think the main reason for that is because I kind of made him look silly on well, I made him look silly twice now. But he just has bad takes, man. And there was this old forum post about kosher cauticles, you know, and I said that's kind of like a marketing term. Doesn't mean you're gonna get a better stone. And you know, he got all pissy about it, kind of like what Eric's is saying about the Eschers. You know, it's like a marketing term. It's Escher in itself is a business, you know, a company. It was a company, you know. But the stone is a stone. A caudicle is a caudicle. Kosher caudicle. Anyways, made him look silly. My point being, you know, these are natural stones. You only know what you have once you use them, right? It could be called the best stone in the world, and when you use it, it might perform like crap. So you have to use them. Anyways, ever since then, that guy has been following me on every post that I write, and he replies, and usually he ends up looking like a jackass. He always ends up calling the mods. This edge is feeling actually pretty good. So yeah, he actually put a definition of jointing that actually did not help his argument. What an idiot. Let me fix this up. The problem with forums is you have people that just want to argue, and then you combine that with them not being that smart, and it's like a recipe for disaster for them. And then they get whiny and call the mods. And some mods are good, but some are not that bright either. And that's another problem. That first pass was actually really good, so at this point, it's not much of a challenge. The challenge is the first part of the challenge, which is holding the razor with your non-dominant hand. a little backstory on that caudicle, just because I want to, Eric mentioned it, Keith Johnson mentioned something. I actually got in contact with a rabbi authority. Rabbinical authority. I can't say it. I can type it. I can't say it. But, they need that for the kosher slaughter. And they used to sell them kosher stones, caudicle kosher stones, and they would tell them that those cauticles were 100K grit, and of course they would buy them. But that's how crazy they want it. They want your money. People want your money, And I'm not saying everybody that sold kosher stones was saying they were 100K, but a few people might have bought those stones thinking there were 100K. I remember I bought a stone. It has black something on it, and when I bought it, they were saying it was 15K. And no, now it's not 15K. Now it's 10 to 12K. And you kind of feel cheated, when that sort of thing happens. So always be very careful who you're buying from, and who the manufacturer or miner is, because this is a hobby. Most of us just do it for fun. Other people do it for business. And there's nothing wrong with doing it for business, by the way. The problem is taking advantage of people. I don't think you're ever going to find a caudicle that's 100K. I'm sorry. I don't think you will. Very slippery, great for straight razor shaving. Switching over to this grip over here. Really good. I really feel like that vapor helps a lot. Like my skin is thanking me for it. All right. Going for the third and final pass. Once you get through the honing, you're golden. I think we're going to see a lot of success during this challenge, and I probably should have added more soap on my bowl. But I am 4 adult drinks in, and I'm not going to go and lather some more. I'll just do a little bit of this. And rub the slickness in, because you don't need lather to get a good shave with straight razor. I mean, I like using lather, but you just need a slick surface. I could just shave like that, Do I recommend it? No, but could you? Yeah, let's do it. Can I modify the challenge? You need to have a drink when you're doing this challenge. Slippery hands, slippery razor, drinking, adult beverage, not a good combo. Let me rinse this off a little bit. All right, we have rinsed it off. I was talking to Leon about this stroke. It's called the overhand stroke. I've been watching him, but it's definitely a difficult stroke. Definitely feel like I'm getting too comfortable here. Let me go back a little bit. Still very slippery. Her base is really good. Van Yulay's base, crisp, ozone, leathery, amber, cedar wood, sandalwood, you know, scents, that notes that us men enjoy. And our women, I think. At least my soon-to-be wife enjoys when I smell like a man. Does this count? Am I cheating? I think I am. I'm a cheater, bro. I really should not drink and do videos because I feel like my personality changes, and I think you guys are gonna see that on video. Oh God. I always like checking with the hand, and I'm missing. I always, this spot, like I can just, not even with the DE can I get this to be BBS. One more thing, Johnny 5, he does something where he leaves the razor as it is, and he leaves it there. He moves his face. Think about it. Try it out, because I've been trying it out with my non-dominant hand practice shaves, and it's been very useful. For those of you that did the challenge and you felt like if you were using your dominant hand to stretch, here's another tip, and I feel like this video is going to be super long. You don't always need to use your hand to stretch. You can manipulate your face, and I've said this before in countless videos. You can use air to blow. You can move your face. You know, I don't need to use my hand to stretch here. I can just move my lip over to the left side. You know, I can blow air. And what that does is it draws the skin, it tightens it up. Maybe there is such a thing as overstretching. I've never seen it. But you're never gonna overstretch with blowing air and moving your face around. Anyways, that's the shave. I am gonna be using the aftershave splash from Van Yulay Michael. There we go. And I did not do my hair for this video. Beautiful, beautiful scent. And I should probably finish this on camera. Oops. All right. So, Van Yulay Michael aftershave and a little bit of Heineken as an aftershave. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing adult drinks on camera again. Unless you guys like it, I am having fun. I'll see you guys in the next one. Eric pretty much challenged everybody here. But I'll just say the people that I want to see do the challenge. Let's see. Devin Jackson. I was going to say Greg Gallant because I love watching Greg Gallant hone, but he has his special technique honing. I will say this, maybe Greg Gallant can do the challenge, but, you know, maybe he can use his right hand as he does with his, because he hones with his right hand, and with his left hand, I think it's his left hand, I don't think he inverts his videos, but he uses it as a way to, you know, guide himself. So maybe he can do the same, use his right hand to guide himself, but yeah, just the other way around, inverted. Greg Gallant, Devin Jackson, and who else? Who else? Obviously, Eric, the Cajun Blade. He's the one who issued the challenge. He has to do it. If I did not mention you, but you want to do it, go ahead and do it. You know, these are just for fun. I feel like I have to say one more name. Josh, the Cutthroat Goat. I love that guy. Great guy. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.